Hey there, everyone. Good morning. Meteorologist Kristin Walla here in our digital studio. We've got lots to talk about in terms of the weather, so let's just hop right in and get to it. So we have had a little bit of rain on the radar through this morning, so get what the radar is looking like right now. Earlier this morning, we did have a severe thunderstorm warning that we're northern Live Oak County. You can see the thunderstorm right there earlier from this morning, but since then it's been pretty quiet here around the coastal bend. You can see not really much going on in terms of rain here on the radar, but we do still have a decent amount of fog around the coastal bend. Not dense by any means, but lowered visibility, and that's thanks to a lot of humidity and moisture in our air. That is probably going to continue through the earlier part of today up until, we can get a little bit more wind going, a little more sunshine, but I do expect that fog to hang around by the coast. Here's what that looks like outside from our tower cam right now over our Lex cam overlooking downtown. Looks really gloomy, really dreary, kind of gross outside, especially because it is so warm and muggy. Temperatures right now are in the upper 70s and middle 70s for most of the coastal bend. Again, once you factor in the humidity, the overcast skies, it's just not really that nice outside. So here's how today is gonna pan out. Temperatures in the 70s for the rest of your morning and up to about 80 degrees by lunchtime. Heading into this afternoon, we get to a high of 83, and again, you can see that sun coming out later today. Now, we did have that isolated shower chance this morning that does carry into this afternoon, but for the most part, most of us are going to be staying dry here. Here's a look at the state right now. We do have a cold front kind of bisecting the state in half. You can see it's much cooler up towards the panhandle. Temperatures in the 40s in Amarillo and Lubbock. We're not quite going to get that cold once this front gets down to us here in the coastal bend, but you can really see that clear divide between the warm and humid air on our side versus that cooler and drier air to the north. That being said, this front is going to cause a little bit of a disturbance through the state today in terms of severe weather. This got updated earlier this morning, I believe, after our newscast. So this is an update to that forecast from this morning. We do have a 3 out of 5 or enhanced risk for today, but that is not in our area. That's to our northwest up by San Antonio. For us, our areas are in a 1 out of 5 and a 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. However, even though this says Friday on here, it's going to be Friday night. So this is going to be a severe risk heading into tonight. And the main things that we're going to be looking at is going to be wind and hail. The tornado risk is really low, and out of wind and hail, probably hail would be the bigger of the two concerns. Even into Saturday, we're still hanging on to a little bit of an isolated severe storm risk, and even into Sunday as well, though I think Sunday we're probably going to see less thunderstorm coverage than we will tonight and Saturday night. So here's what that's going to look like on our radar futurecast. This is the newest update of our in-house model. If you were watching First Edition this morning, you know my graphics were giving me a very hard time. They were on vacation, but here is what it looks like right now. Heading into this afternoon, we start to see a little bit of sunshine come out. That helps the temperatures warm up into the 80s, and you can see that cold front right at the northern doorstep of the coastal bend with a little bit of some shower activity. Now, heading into tonight, this is a little bit of a change from this morning when the graphics finally started to get going again. Instead of a big cluster of thunderstorms at this point, now it's suggesting a little bit less activity, but it still does keep that shower chance and storm chance overnight as those storms cross the coastal bend, and they kind of follow the stationary front just right across. So we do have the chance tonight again for some of these thunderstorms to be on the stronger to severe side, with those main risks again being hail and wind. That front is going to stay stationary essentially for a day or so in the coastal bend. And what these stationary fronts do is they allow moisture to focus right along them, and it also provides what we call a lifting mechanism. So that's one of the ingredients that you need for thunderstorms, is a way to push that air physically upward in the atmosphere, and a front is a great way to do that. So with the moisture, the energy, all of that stuff here in place, we have those scattered shower chances in our forecast essentially through the entire weekend. So I mentioned more rain chances heading into Saturday night and Sunday morning. I paused this at 2 a.m. just to give you an idea of what it could look like. I'm not sure how many people are going to be out at 2 a.m. on a Sunday, but this is what the radar could look like. Again, a little less aggressive than models were showing earlier this morning, and then clearing out. And finally, that cold front getting a little push from some high pressure to our north and actually moving out of here as a cold front. So behind that, we're unfortunately not going to see skies really clearing out. We are going to get a little cooler with the northeasterly winds. However, we're going to stay cloudy due to an overrunning pattern where we have cooler air here at the surface, but then the warmer and moist air out ahead of it kind of has to go over it. If you think about like a dome shape, that's what's going on, and it's just going to make us cloudy and have a bit of dreary weather heading into next week. Let's focus on tonight though. These are rain chances as well as kind of the intensity, if you will, of the storms that we could be seeing. So this afternoon, rain chances remain pretty low, just some shower activity, not really much to write home about. Once we head into about news time tonight, 10 o'clock or so, we're going to be watching to our west, those counties over there and over towards the Rio Grande for any showers or thunderstorms that are starting to pop up over there, because those are going to track eastward over to us. Now on here, I just wrote thunderstorms, but again, with that SPC outlook, the Storm Prediction Center that I just showed y'all, where it has the orange and the yellow and the green, again, it's got us at a 2 out of 5. So the potential for severe storms is there. So that's why I wrote on here severe thunderstorms possible, but I didn't quite put it in red, because whenever I put it in red, a lot of people think every single storm on the radar is going to be severe, and that's not the case. It's just that a couple of them could become severe. Now, heading into Saturday afternoon, the rain chances do go down again, but they still are going to be there, an isolated to widely scattered chance. So if you do have any plans for St. Patrick's Day downtown for tomorrow, I believe there's a block party or festival going on, you should be okay, but keep the umbrella handy just in case. I updated this from this morning. The weather threats, heavy rain seems pretty likely with any of these stronger storms. The flooding risk isn't quite going to be as high unless you get some of that heavy rain training over one area, or just kind of going right over that same place over and over. And then, like I mentioned again, the wind and hail would be kind of our next most concerning thing. The tornado risk, very low. And then, of course, lightning with any of these thunderstorms. Speaking of a flood risk, here's what it looks like for today through tonight. And you can see that risk expand southward, a slight or 10 to 20% risk for excessive rainfall or flooding. So this is going to be your low-lying areas, places with poor drainage, maybe some of our streets here in town, but we in Corpus Christi are in that lower risk, the marginal. So over the next 3 days, we're going to continue to see our temperatures decrease once we get more cloud cover and higher rain chances here in the coastal bend. So we've got that stationary front coming in and sitting around tonight. That helps focus the moisture and energy, all that good stuff, and gives us the rain shower and storm chances tonight. Heading into Saturday, like we mentioned, scattered chances, but they are going to be a little lower in the afternoon. They ramp back up again heading into Saturday night. And then heading into Sunday, we do have another scattered shower chance. So you can kind of imagine our rain chances just going up and down like a roller coaster. So a bigger view of Futurecast, we kicked it off here at 6 p.m. today, I believe. And now it went all the way through Sunday at 6 a.m. So Sunday, here is what we could be seeing in the coastal bend, a mix of clouds and sun, and then let me back that up here. It was supposed to pause, and then you can see a little bit less activity expected. So now we're going to head into Monday, and you can see high pressure kind of building in from our north all the way through Tuesday, and as long as we are kind of below or to the east of this high pressure, we're going to continually get that cooler air, not necessarily drier, but cooler for sure. And like I mentioned, you've got the cooler air at the surface, the humid air above it. That's why, even though there's high pressure there, we're going to continue to see the rain and shower chances. Now, as that high pressure starts to move over to the east, instead of seeing the cooler air coming around it, we're going to start to see the more humid air return heading into later this coming week, probably the second half. So we're going to continue to keep these rain chances. I don't have them insanely high, just a scattered chance. And then heading into later this coming week, that's when we could start to see some of the energy from that big low pressure over to the west that's just been hanging out in the desert southwest eventually kind of move our way with a cold front and maybe even clear us out. So here's what that looks like in terms of rain chances. You can see tonight as well as Saturday night, probably some of our highest chances heading into this coming week. Saturday's rain chances are going to be a little bit more towards the morning. And then you can see for the rest of the week that widely scattered chance still there. So here's what it looks like in terms of our rainfall estimates, anywhere from 1/2 to 1 inch for our extreme southeastern areas. But I think most of the coastal bend over the course of the next week is going to get about 1 to 2 inches of rain. But the good news with this is not only do we want the rain and need it, we really need it in our watershed. So that is where it looks like some of the highest totals are going to be falling. A couple inches of rain through the center of the watershed. So that's definitely some good news. Here's one last check of your Friday forecast. Again, we started off in the 70s. It's kind of yucky outside with the fog and the cloudy skies. Heading into this afternoon, we do warm up as we start to see a little bit more sunshine and get to the 80s here in Corpus Christi and around the rest of the coastal bend. So we've got that cold front coming in tonight and it stalls out. That gives us those kind of persistent rain shower chances and storm chances from now through Sunday. Sunday, we got lots of green for you, not only St. Patrick's Day, but rain on the radar, that scattered rain chance. And then heading into the rest of this coming week, we are going to continue to see the rain chances. They're not going to be quite as high, but they are. If you enjoyed this weather forecast and you want more content like it, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can scan the app right here. Thanks. Have a great day.